Philly in the advanced auto, other stuff here. So I'm doing this cooling system pressure test. I was gonna try to make like an earlier video, but I was like, yeah, I'm just a little tired. You know, I've been at this job for the last almost 2 days now, in the freezing cold wind, with the wind like literally blowing right at me, and I'm only wearing a sweater. Right now I got my jacket on, I'm cold. So I replaced the upper radiator hose and the lower hose and the thermostat and the gasket for the thermostat housing, which is right there. You guys see that? So that's the constant tension clamp. I had to shorten up one of the other hoses that went to the oil cooler, but it still went onto this pipe. Let me see if I can try to get you guys in focus. That pipe right there, that's a Y pipe. It's it goes in to the block or the water pump, and then it's got like a little black like a ring on it, and then it bolts down with an 8mm bolt, and then one part goes that way, the other part goes that way, and it branches off of that. So, and I took the EGR out, took the cam sensor out. I couldn't take it out all the way, I just took it out, and I positioned it relatively where it was before. So the ignition for cylinder 1 advanced timing is like it should be around 13-14 degrees, and it's reading about 15-16 degrees on the live data, so a few degrees off, but it ain't too bad. Van was kind of running a little bit bad, but I found out that one of my rags I stashed right here got sucked in, and it must have got caught up in the belt or got caught somewhere, but it's fine now, so it's not a big deal. And that's a coolant heater right before the water pump, because the heat rises. So the instruction says to put those in, you have to have it close to the water pump, you know, to the part that sucks in the water, you know, to the inlet. Sorry. And then and then this is a whole new hose too. This is like $65 and change right here, this hose right here, and it branches into like 3 different. See, it's like a T right down there. It's a preformed T. That was hard to get in there because of that, because the part going to the heater is all original hose. I didn't cut the hose, which I'm glad I didn't, because if I had to remove the heater, I could still put the hose back on the water pump and clamp it down and good to go. So, you know, if the heater were to ever fail and I got to take it out of service or something. So, but yeah, that's the Cat's 600 watt part number 16700, which is meant for, I think, like about a 2-inch inside diameter hose, I believe. So it's something like that. I mean, it says it fits my van on my Napa, but Advanced Auto says it does not fit. So I just looked at the specifications at the fitment details, and then I looked at the lower hose details on Advanced Auto, and I cross-referenced them, and it seems to match up like 1.7 inches or 1.75. So, but it seems to be holding pressure still. It's dropping down a little bit, but you know, it ain't too bad. I had it up to 15. I had it up to 15, and doesn't have to hold pressure for like at least 15-20 minutes. Be satisfied with that, because it wasn't holding pressure, and I was like, what the hell? I tested the cap, and the cap actually holds like 18 psi. It can do like it says 16, but it does about 18, and then it starts to release. So I don't know why the system wasn't holding pressure, and I know I put the cap on there until it clicked. So I don't know, really weird. I'm trying to think if I have a spare cap somewhere. I don't think I do. I think I have. I think I threw it away with the old tank. I should have kept the old tank though, just in case. I mean, it doesn't really need a whole pressure, it really doesn't, but it's just nice to have a factory spec, and that's what I put in here too. I put a factory spec thermostat. It's a 195 degree. I think the one that was in here before was because if anyone to get no hotter than like 185, like 188, and it should read about 190, like 195. I mean, but the upper hose here was pretty warm. So I'm assuming it's opening up a little bit like earlier. I don't know. Yeah, see my wiring job right there? That orange wire goes to the EGR vacuum solenoid. the PCM there commands that solenoid, and the solenoid gets vacuum from the engine intake, which in turn opens up the EGR valve a certain amount. However much voltage or amperage is applied to that solenoid. See, there's the EGR valve. So that works pretty well. I can look at the live data for that. This is EGR duty cycle. MAGA all the way. I'm ultra MAGA. The pickup truck just went by with the patriotic flag. Catch my drift. Man, it's pretty hard. Let's see how much it went down. Not too much. About 5 minutes, 45 seconds of this video. That's pretty good actually, if you think about it. And then I know when I release pressure, it's going to come back up to there, so it kind of pushes it down about it, you know, a little bit. But this is just to really make sure it's going to hold, because every time I added water, it would leak. But guess what I did? I took masking tape. I put I had the housing in my hand for the upper hose. I had the housing in my hand. The thermostat, the spring has to go in towards the engine. Okay, always remember that spring goes in towards the engine. The smallest part goes towards the pipe. I put masking tape all the way around that, and then use the silicone gasket that I bought for like the Felpro, the black and orange, for like I think like $16.99. This thing was super expensive, you know. Gasket. But so then what I did was put masking tape around it, put the gasket on, then put the two bolts and held it together, and use both my hands with, you know, with gloves. Like my hands are really cold. Not these gloves, like, you know, like dollar store mittens. And bolted it up, and used the bolts for the EGR stamp pipe, not the EGR valve, the pipe that goes from the EGR valve to the intake. It's a little weird shaped pipe. I use those bolts. So, but yeah, those bolts held it in pretty tight, and I didn't torque them down, you know, as hard as I did with the one, because I snapped off the one. What was able to get that piece of broken bolt out with, no problem. But I kind of stripped the aluminum holes. My jacket's like really nasty. I don't know how that stuck on there, because I wasn't from working on the van. I can tell you that much right now. I don't ever use this for working on the van, unless I was like freezing cold or something, and even then I may not. I gotta carry my I got a gray sweater for that. It has a hood on it, but it keeps riding up my waist, and I don't like that. I was freezing because it kept riding up. But I usually use that in a black jacket, and then a winter hat or whatever, you know, to stay warm while doing something like this. But I want to get this done before it gets really cold. It's supposed to be like in the 20s tonight. So I had to go get more gas for the van, filled up all the way up. It's a 5-gallon can, and the generator, because the generator had ran out of gas early last night, and then the tank for the diesel heater, which is a 5-gallon tank. So that's the 5-gallon tank. The line runs with a pump. So yeah, that allows me to run the heater for a much longer period of time, especially if I was stranded somewhere for like a couple of days at least. Probably 3-4 days straight, I could run the heater like full blast maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking I can get a gallon of a whole night. I have to look at the specifications. It's 22 milliliter pump. That's all I know. So each pulse is 22 milliliters of fuel being pushed into the heater. And the faster it goes, the more it pumps, you know? Like, you know, the more it pushes. Oh, he's doing the air filter. Yeah, pressure's dropping a little bit. Been almost 10 minutes, so, and I did this before the video, so So I'll call it about 13-14 minutes maybe. I had to pay $250 cash, and I didn't realize there was tax on it, so $265 and change. So I'll get the money, I'll get the cash back like right away, and the rest of it will have to go back to my card in a couple of business days. I'm like really short on cash from doing all this. This water hose was like 65, 66. I ended up buying gasket paper, which I didn't even need. It still was junk. Should have just bought this silicone gasket, but it said it wasn't in stock, and it was too expensive. I actually walked over here to AutoZone to buy the 2 blue Felpro gaskets, which the one didn't work at all. It kind of did, but it still leaked, and I wanted to go with a more robust silicone with steel insert, with silicone over the steel, and that way it can be, because it's going to last a long time, And I was able to return the 2 blue gaskets. I was able to warranty them because of, the one, and then return the other because it was brand new package. It was like $3.99 each, but still, that's money back in my pocket, And spent about $50 in gas, $10 on gloves. So I got like 2 boxes of vinyl, which are way cheaper than the actual like nitrile, which I didn't realize. I'm buying these from now on. And it keeps my hands from drying out. Because right now my hands dry out so bad that they start cracking and splitting open, especially right here on my one finger. It's split right at the tip, and it feels like a damn paper clip if it was way too dry. So after I get out Planet Fitness, I gotta throw on a pair of these right away, or wrap it in electrical tape or something, just so that way it doesn't be exposed to air, So yeah, it's holding pressure pretty well. Yeah, the one cap. The one in the kit leaked right at the connection there, so I found another one that fit. And if you're getting this, it's for the Ford caps. It's that orange one. It's not the yellow one. That's going to leak air. It's that orange one. So, and then you have some universal ones too. They use like a rubber. You tighten it down until the rubber plug expands, and then that way it creates a good seal. I was about to use one of those because I had to for the Dodge van. But yeah, I tested the cap, testing the system now, and it seems to be okay. So maybe, I don't know, maybe just didn't put the cap on there good enough. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, it's still holding. That's pretty good though, if you think about it. And the water coolant level is still the same too. I actually had too much coolant, probably because there was water in the system. I'm going to use this little coolant tester here. I'm going to test the coolant and make sure if I can get 3 balls of float, then I'll be good. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. No. 2 plus or 3 negative, maybe? Is that 10 negative? Yeah, okay. So if I get 3, then I'll be good for 10 negative. If I get 4, I'll be even better. 5 would be way better, So we'll see how it goes. These are great vans, by the way. These are really great vans. If you know how to take care of it, the van will take care of you. I guarantee you that. I replaced pretty much everything in this van except for the AC system. The AC condenser definitely needs to be replaced, and possibly the orifice tube. If I'm going to do all that, it's got to be all redone. That's why I got the vacuum pump and the gauges, just so that way I can service the AC system or do it on the van here, and I don't have to pay somebody, Like, why pay somebody when I can just buy the tools and I got them for future use anyways, I did most of the pulleys, except for water pump pulley for obvious reasons. The belt is a DriveWorks. It's not a Dayco. Those Daycos will squeak right out the box. The DriveWorks will take a while to squeak. That's why I replaced all the pulleys. I replaced the idler there, replaced the other one, replaced the tensioner pulley. Obviously, the alternator is well over 1 year old. It's not even 2 years old yet. And I replaced power steering pump. Placed the power steering pump right there because it came with the pulley. I ended up buying the pump and a pulley, and then the tool to try to push it on there, it just didn't work out very well. So I just bought the pump and pulley, and I returned the other thing, and they accepted it. I was happy with that. Able to warranty it out, you know, undefected. But yeah, I did the AC clutch, pulley, electromagnet a little more than 2 years ago now, right before I went to Louisiana for the first time, or second time I think it was. So it was like 80 some bucks for the whole kit. It's the FS10 compressor clutch kit. So you want to do FS10 compressor clutch kit. Probably a little bit more now because of part shortages and stuff like that. I did the power steering fluid too. But yeah, the lower hose butts up against the high pressure line. You know, for the power steering pump, it's not too bad, but it does butt up against it pretty good. So, I'm a little concerned with that. The lower hose was touching the pitman arm pivot point right there in the gearbox, so I moved it up a little bit and I zip tied it to the housing around the pivot point. You know, where the bearing is inside that gearbox, where the pitman arm bolts up to. So hopefully now the hose won't fall and it won't get rubbed by the pitman arm. You know what I mean? And then get all messed up. You know. A piece of that rag in there? The piece of that rag was in there. I don't know. It's hard to tell. No, thought a piece of that rag was right there first. No, I guess not. It's good. Might have to replace that brake booster though, because it's leaking air. I mean, it's leaking vacuum. I mean, it ain't too bad, but still. Eventually, I want to replace the wire going from the alternator to here, and then it goes right in the fuse box. So this is the main power wire for the ignition and fuel pump and all that, and accessories, lighting. Is that orange and black cable? Then I had this cable right here, found it at a what do you call it? It's a Restore. No, not Habitat Restore. It's some other place in Gaithersburg, Maryland. I already had this wire here. Bought a roll at Walmart, 12 gauge, and then so basically this wire already comes off of here. Just use a butt splice, and the other wire goes right to the starter. See, of course I wrapped tape. I wrapped tape every now and then. I think I did the whole thing in tape. So yeah, and then I found this other little 90 piece right there, and I just wire nutted it there. Just fine for now. And then that goes to the probably the neutral safety switch, and then to the ignition switch, and then from the ignition switch to the fuse, and then to the constant power underneath here. So I'm pretty sure of that. I gotta imagine it in the back of my mind. Damn, it's like vibrating when he makes a hard right turn. It's been pretty much 20 minutes. It's been a little more than 20 minutes actually. It's been like 22 minutes now. So yeah, I'm gonna get out this thing. I'm gonna call this good. Call it repair good. But at least now I got a coolant heater too, to keep the engine warm. And like I said, the heat rises, so that's why you have to put it close. You gotta put it close to the water pump, and it's gonna be right by the engine. So I'll be able to verify it once it get plugged in and get settled and stuff. I plug it in up on the dashboard to there's an extension cord that's connected to it, and I'll plug it in up on the dashboard and then let it run. It draws about 5 amps. It just plugged in. I used electrical tape to seal that up, so that way it doesn't get all corroded in the next 6-7 months from driving in the slush and whatever. But yeah, like I said, coolant here is probably going to keep the engine pretty warm. It's the specifications are 270 degrees, but it's thermostatically controlled, whatever that means. You know, I mean, I kind of have an idea, but hopefully it'll register on the gauge cluster or even the OBD2 and let me know what's going on. And I could probably look at the OBD2 live data. Just leave the key in the on position so I can read the scan tool, and then you know, after I plug it in, wait like 5-6 hours and then read the data. If it says like 130, 150 degrees, and it's good, you know. I mean, if anything, right? So, because we're gonna start getting cold real bad around here, and I definitely want the engine to be warm to get the engine up to temperature faster and to get the heat out of the dash faster. Otherwise, it takes like a good 45 minutes for this thing to warm up, and that's just sitting in a parking lot. So driving it warms up a little bit more faster, but not by that much. If I think if I let it preheat, it should definitely get it up to temp a lot faster and be warmer, and you know, and just use less gas. That's essentially what it is. It'll pay for itself in gas savings. It's just going to take a while, probably at least a year, but that's fine. It's not a big deal, you know, as long as they get some of it back, right? Yeah, it's dropping down to between, I don't know, let me see here, around 13 psi. I only dropped a couple psi in like the last, that's like 20, yeah, about 24 minutes, and the upper hose is still rock hard. So yeah, it's good to go. I'm gonna disconnect everything here and get it back in the store and return it, and go grab me a shower at Planet Fitness and hit Dollar Tree and get me some snacks and call it a night. I'm done. I want to work the median, but right now I'm tired, I'm beat, I'm cold. I gotta clean up the van still. I gotta get water in the tank. I gotta get the water nice and hot in the water heater. It's gonna be a lot, so I got a long ways to go. So everybody, take care and stay blessed, all right? And just pray for me that I can get better with my finances, because right now I'm just really hurting, you know. Holidays are coming up, but yeah, I mean, if you really want to help, the money will go towards this, or gas, or just whatever. You know, I done in the last couple of days. It's Cash App Corey Babcock 22 is my Cash App. PayPal is Corey Babcock 2019 at gmail.com. And I got a GoFundMe. I got to put in the video description, on my channel description. But yeah, like I said, anything helps. Even $5 helps. It doesn't matter. You know, $1 helps. You know, $100 would definitely help though. You know, but yeah, like I said, I just want to get this done. I want to make sure that my bills can be paid, because I'm going to have to forego my a couple bills right now. I just can't put money towards it. I don't use them, but I have to have them, but I don't use them. So it's like, okay, well, you know, I have to put it on the back burner and prioritize my daily needs, you know, and that's the way life is. So everybody, take care, stay blessed, and stay awesome, and have a great weekend, all right?